good. All right.
No opening statement. Y'all fire questions at me. Kirby, since we saw you on the spring you had signed Jaden Machado. What did you like about him as a player? And there was a report that you gave him your blessing for him to file his lawsuit. Is that accurate?
Say what you will. He told me the day before they decided to do the lawsuit, and I told him that'd be between his family and his attorneys. Not really to get. I'm not involved in it. Georgia's not involved in it anyway. So, um, but Jaden is a good football player. We knew Jaden when he was coming out, and he's got a good body of work. He's had the ability to play, which is really critical at the quarterback position. He's actually played it and is very talented. So we're happy he's joining us and looking forward to working with him.
Kirby, several of his colleagues have kind of sounded off on the potential 85 roster cap limit and possible elimination of walk-on programs. Kind of, where's your thought process as you guys kind of debate and have these conversations on that subject?
Well, I think that's what we're here for, right? To try to figure that out. I don't know. I think there's a lot of speculation, a lot of narratives out there that are loose, that may not be true. But we're here to figure that out. And I'm not completely up to date and educated completely on where it is. I do feel strongly that roster spots are important and that walk-ons are important. But where that falls, that's what we're here to decide today.
Kirby, what's it say about the state of things in college football when a 20-year-old recruit, or not recruit, college player for you, is suing a coach for $10 million? I mean, what is
I'll be honest with you. I don't know if that's accurate. I mean, I talk to Billy all the time about stuff like that, and I don't know that he's suing a coach. I really don't know what's going on with the
what's going on
lawsuit.
in the
So,
lawsuit? I mean,
well, I
he
think
can't
Billy's named in it, yes,
he
but I don't
can't
know
use
that it's
stuff
just
on other
him.
people.
Right. But again, I mean, it's the side of the times possibly. I don't get really caught up in that. I worry about what's in my little bubble at Georgia, and uh, that's outside the bubble for me. So, don't really know.
So you just found out about it the day before.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden came and let me know that his group was going to take a lawsuit, and that I told him that was between him and his family and his attorneys, and so they did.
Kirby, how much tougher does the SEC get next year, just with the season Texas had last year, with what they have coming back? How much tougher does the league get adding them plus Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's extremely tough. I mean, the fact that they're in our conference, they're further away. They're a powerful football team. They're got a great state to recruit in. Both their coaching staffs are really good. Sark and Brent both have SEC kind of experience, and Brent being over in the ACC and playing at Clemson, he's played SEC teams kind of forever. So they both know the climate they're jumping into, and we think it makes our conference better. You know, our brand extends further west, and uh, two tremendous programs. When you add those two in, it makes the scheduling, much tougher.
Kirby, when you're in the room with the coaches, and Nick Saban's not here this year. How much weight did he bring in a room like that? We didn't really see it in the media. And then what responsibility does that give to you now that you're kind of one of the veteran coaches here?
Well, I think we got two new coaches in there now, so now we're went from 14 to 16. That in itself brings more energy, juice, whatever you want to say, experience between Sark and Brent. But you know, Coach Saban's one of the most veteran guys in there. I think he'd been in the SEC longer than anybody. He'd sat in more of those meetings than anybody. When you add the LSU and Alabama time together, it was valuable. You know, I think people relied on him for experience and knowledge. He's very thoughtful in terms of what he comes up with and ideas to make football better. And I always respected the fact that whether I was an assistant coach for him or a head coach, alongside him in there, it was never about what was best for his team. It was about what was best for the game of football. And sometimes people lose sight of that for self-preservation.
Kirby, you've become renowned for roster management. Can you give us the 10,000-foot view on the challenges now and with how you manage your roster in this NIL era, recruiting, transfers, etc.?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you're asking about our current state, not the potential for what's to come.
Open-ended.
Say what?
Open-ended question.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't know that it's changed. I mean, I don't feel like I've had a change in 3 years. So like it's been a little bit kind of the same for 3 years, and the management comes through. What decisions you make. what NIL it requires to get a kid, and we are fundamentally a high school development program. We want to sign high school players, develop high school players, and grow them as men and retain our roster. And I think when you look across the country, we've done as good a job of anybody of retaining our roster and not having to go wholesale into the portal, which is what I prefer to do when you talk about roster management. But we put a lot of time and effort into our roster, and that includes our PWOs and our kids that maybe are backups because we think that they're going to their future says they're going to be starters. So we want to grow and develop our players from within and not have to go through the portal.
Hey Kirby, I want to go back to your comment on how competitive and difficult the schedule is. How common do you think it's going to be for college football playoff teams to have multiple losses? And how do you determine who's better when a team might play a tougher schedule with more losses against a team that may also be Power 5, didn't play as rigorous a schedule, might only have one loss?
Do I think there's going to be teams with multiple losses? Yes,
Yeah.
in the playoffs. I mean, most certainly there is. How do you differentiate? I'll leave that to the committees. I mean, I think that's why we have the system we have. I mean, it happened yesterday in baseball. So there's a lot of debate about what teams get in baseball. There's going to be debate about what basketball team got left out. There's going to be debate about what football team get left out. And ultimately, everybody has a chance to go out on the grass and perform and play and earn the right to be in. And somebody's going to get left out that probably shouldn't. And I don't get into I try to control what I can control because I can't control what a committee or what someone votes or thinks should be in. And we've had that with the 4-team playoff. There's been probably 3 times that I thought we were one of the best 4 teams, but we didn't earn it on the field. And so the same opportunity is going to present itself. It's just going to be 13, 14, 15, and you guys are going to debate a lot about it, and I'm going to try to make my team better so they're not 13, 14, 15.
Kirby, were you surprised you didn't get in last year, or did you?
No, not surprised at all.
Just kind of realized you lost that last game, and
Yeah, I mean, we had our opportunity on the field, and that's what you can ask for. I'm not going to cry over it. I think we had a good football team, though. I think we had a really good football. I don't know. It's not for me to decide, right? So, didn't get to play the others.
Kirby,
What
with
did you
the
get out of the Orange Bowl?
What's that?
What did you guys get out of the Orange Bowl moving forward?
Oh man, we got to practice 15 more times, I think it was, and got to play some guys, and got to play our backup quarterback. We got a chance to finish off on a win. We had a group of seniors or juniors in some cases that got drafted that walked off that field for the last time with the winningest record in the history of Georgia football, and they felt pretty good about themselves. So I really appreciate the way they finished, and they set a standard for our younger players that this is the culture here. We go out, we practice really hard, and we go play in our games until the games are over.
Kirby, with the playoff expanding and maybe potentially expanding again to 14, does that change at all your thought process on the back burner issue of whether to go to 9 conference games in 26 and beyond?
No, again, I worry about it when it comes up. I think this hot button topic that y'all are like on y'all's little memo. It says ask the question about 8 or 9 games. I'm completely cool with that question. I don't care whether we play 8 or 9. I don't care one bit. If you tell me we're going to get more teams in by playing 9, I vote for that. If we're gonna have a strength of schedule factor that says these teams that play these really hard teams, they should be allowed to have 2 or 3 losses and get in, then I'm for it. If it doesn't and help us, then you can say why do it. I think the fan, the guy that's paying the ticket price, wants those games, and I don't shy away from that. And look, I coached in the NFL for a year, and I watch NFL every year. At the end of the day, 9 and 7 years like playoff worthy, and I definitely think, I'm not saying that's where we're headed. 9 and 7 teams will be in the playoff, but we're headed in a direction where you don't have to worry about losing your entire roster when you lose 1 game or 2 games because they think it's over.
Calendar-wise, I've heard Lane and Stark are pretty unified in terms of looking at the NFL calendar as kind of a guide rail to grow this game. How much do you agree, or maybe that the calendar needs to be shifted a little bit here and there, be it calling recruits or just calendar-wise moving forward, just to get things on the right track?
Yeah, I don't understand that because I don't understand what the NFL calendar has to do with ours. Like the NFL calendar is nothing like ours. They don't recruit. I mean, they don't have the calendar issues. I don't know if you're talking about schedule. Like their schedule is
Or
set.
the free agency period as well. The
Correct.
portal,
Yeah, that would be there, but we're dealing with academics.
Yeah.
I mean, we're dealing with the fact that a semester ends at every school at a different place. You know, I've talked to 6 coaches here today. They all have completely different academic calendars. That's way different than NFL because they can unify and they can all do this one set thing based on a calendar. We can't do that based on a calendar because everybody's like trying to figure out a better way to set their academic calendar, but the academic calendar is set without football in mind. So it makes it really tough to follow that.
Kirby, what do you think about the
Carson Beck was last year? What parts of his game do you think he could maybe even further elevate?
Yeah, his leadership of the wide out in the offense. I mean, he was in complete command of it, but there was times that I think he knows that he can say, you know what, I can step up and be a bigger voice and a bigger leader. We had a lot of veteran players on that offense last year that had played a lot more than him. Now we don't. He is the veteran that has played the most and that has the most command, and he'll do a good job doing that.
You said you talked to 6 coaches today, and regardless of specifics, did roster size come up? I mean, can you tell that's on all your minds?
Well, I think there's so many things that are going on right now. Like all the questions you guys are asking, that there's not one thing dominating. And it's probably in the 9 years I've been part of this, the most anticipated meetings because there is so much left to not necessarily not us decide, but to have input on. Because some of it is beyond our decision-making process. So there's a lot there.
With the walk-on conversation, can you just speak to the importance of walk-ons in the program, through the years and where you guys?
Yeah, and guys, I want to be perfectly honest. I don't know that I even completely understand what's being said and done. So I don't want to be remiss because this can be misquoted as, well, Kirby defends walk-ons. I don't know anybody that wouldn't defend walk-ons. I mean, like we're talking about something that just makes sense. Okay. Now, when you implement that known fact into some form of settlement that I don't completely understand, I don't know where that factors in. Okay. But when you look at Dabo Sweeney's career, Will Muschamp's career, you look at Ladd McConkey, you look at the guys that have come to schools as walk-ons and then gone on to be successful football players, successful coaches, successful at everything they do. They overcame the ultimate odds. I don't know anybody that would be against having those walk-ons. At what cost does that bring us? I think it hurts high school football and football as a whole when kids can't even dream about what I might be able to do if I can't get an opportunity. I think that's a challenge.
Kirby, what do you think about availability reports? Is that something that would be good for SEC football?
Again, all I know is we're going to talk about it. I was just told that in the last 24 to 48 hours, I guess just like you guys were. So if it helps with gambling, then I'm all for it. If it's geared at getting knowledge out there that people are trying to get from our student athletes and it protects them, I'm certainly for that. But I want to find out more about it. I want to know what the stipulations are, what are the timetables, what are we talking about? Because the NFL model obviously works for them. I don't know what all this entails for us.
One more question. Will step back, took an off the field role this spring. What were kind of some of your takeaways from the new defensive staff additions that you guys made?
Yeah, really excited. Both Dante and T-Rob have been tremendous in terms of energy and enthusiasm. It's great having Will there to kind of coach the coaches because it's like you get your cake and eat it too, because you got Coach Muschamp there for all the value he brings in terms of wealth of knowledge, relationships, knows our team, helps me. So I didn't lose any of that. But I gained these 2 guys that are now on the field and do a tremendous job, and they get to go out and go recruiting, and Will gets to be around his son more, which I think is really important too. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.